I just want to say good evening to everyone here. My name is Matthew Edmond. I'm the Assistant Director of Transportation and Long Range Planning at the Montgomery County Planning Commission. And the Montgomery County Planning Commission, along with the County Roads and Bridges Department, who will introduce to you their rep here tonight, we've been working for a number of years on trying to rehabilitate and improve Ridge Pike all the way from Norristown all the way to Philadelphia, because as you guys probably have read in our materials, the county actually owns that road. It's a little unusual. In Pennsylvania, very few counties own roads. Pretty much it's PennDOT and your local township like Whitemarsh. And then if you happen to own a road yourself on your own property, then you're one of those road owners too. But counties don't typically own roads in PA, but we do in Montgomery County. We have lots of roads, and they're big roads, and they're roads that you've probably ridden on many times. But let's be honest, none of us ever think about who owns a road, right? We just kind of use it. So Montgomery County owns Ridge Pike. And like I said, we've been trying to improve it. We've broken it out into a couple of sections, A, B, C, and D. And tonight, we're here for Section D. That runs from Crescent Avenue in Whitemarsh all the way to Northwestern Avenue, which I'm sure we all know is the Philadelphia city line. So this is an open house tonight. We put the chairs out for you guys to have a place to sit down, relax if you need to. But it's not a public meeting. We're not here to kind of have a back and forth or present anything big. We're here to give you guys all a chance to come up and meet our construction team and ask questions, because we know that when this thing's in construction, it's going to be disruptive. It's not going to be as easy to get around Ridge Pike. Some of you, I'm sure, live on Ridge Pike, and you want to know if something happens to my house or to my property and I don't like it, or it's a little scary, or I need more information, who do I contact, right? That's why we're here tonight. If you just live in the area and you're wondering how do I get around when this thing's under construction for 2 years or so, well, we have the answers for you there. And again, really the important thing is to be able to meet the people on our team. So I'm going to quickly introduce our team, and I'm going to try to go around here. They're in no particular order, but we have a couple of different groups of people that together comprise our team. So I'm going to start with Paul Valier. Paul is the designer of record. He's the engineer. He's the one that actually drew up the plans, right? So Paul's a good resource to talk to about the project and all of its intimate details. We have Mike Sensenig, and we have Allison Schaefer. They are part of the construction management team, and we've tasked them to sort of be the point of contact, day-to-day things. If there's a problem on Ridge Pike and it's related to the construction, they're particularly the ones that you call, and they will filter it through and work with the contractor and us and others to try to troubleshoot it, right? So they're important people. Make note of that, Mike and Allison. We have Susan Geisinger-Cologne. Susan is the county's road and bridge engineer. She works for the county. She represents the County Roads and Bridges Department, which, if you live in a different section of Ridge Pike and you have a concern, so anything from Crescent all the way west to Philadelphia, that's the person to talk to. And I'm sure some of you guys are here tonight, Ridge Pike, right? And you may not live in D, you may have questions in B or C or A. Susan is a person to talk to as well for that. Lorene Sindel-Grant is part of our team, my team. She's with the Planning Commission. She's more or less the day-to-day person that helps to oversee the design of all these sections. And so she's going to be, for better or for worse, our point of contact. When Mike has an issue that he hears from you guys, he's probably going to talk it over with Lorene first. Nancy Lee Walters is over there in the corner. She's a resident. She's kind of cool, but she's not on the team. But we told her to stay up here. We have Dominic Marino, and Dominic, who's next to you? I forget. Thanks. So those two gentlemen are with Alan Myers, and they're the contractor. Now, they don't go out there and actually pour the asphalt or do that work themselves. They oversee the people that do that. But they have a lot of knowledge about where the project's headed and how it might evolve over time, right? Because the reality is you can design it all you want and do the best job you can, but sometimes you encounter things under the road that no one knew about, right? That road out there is a couple hundred years old, and it's been largely urbanized for the last 100 years. So if there's something that happens under there, we got to kind of change how we approach things. Those guys are part of the team that helps us ensure that we can keep moving, right? And that we have to talk to whenever we have other changes, like if you guys bring an issue up, we have to talk to them to make sure that it's constructible or we can alter things. We have Steve Ryan, he's with JBC, and John Zawowski, they're with JBC. Mike and Allison report to them, but they also work with us, and we have a long relationship on some other projects around here. So they're good people to talk to as well. They have a lot of knowledge about how things get done. And then I'll just also introduce, for what it's worth, Mike Bowles from Bowles Smythe. He was part of the design team. He worked underneath Paul here as what we call a subcontractor. Right? Paul was the head guy, but we have some specialties underneath them, and Mike was part of that and helped to be part of that too. So with that,
is there anybody here from TRC? No, they're the inspectors.
Yeah. So TRC, just so you know, TRC is the company that we hire, and they go out and they inspect the work that Myers does. So there's some checks and balances in there too to make sure that everything's designed, everything's built the way it's designed. So just curious here, who lives between Crescent and the city? Raise your hand. You guys are on that stretch of Section D. All right. So we have other people here who live in the community who don't live on the road, and that's okay. It's totally cool. We're glad you're here, and I want you to know that. We talked about the team. A couple of other quick items. There are snacks for you guys. Now, I bought 50 pretzels tonight because I'm like, there's no way we're going to go through 50 pretzels. And boy, am I probably wrong. So by all means, have pretzels, have water. There's 50 of each there. I'm sorry if we run out. It's probably too late for me to go to Philly Pretzel Factory. They close at 6. But I tried my best. So if you get a chance and you want a snack, we have that there for you. And so we're going to be here until 8 o'clock tonight. So I'm going to ask all you guys at your own leisure. 7. Oh, 7. All right. We'll be here till 7, but thank you very much. But we don't punch time clocks. So if it's 7:05 and you still have questions, you still want to talk, some of us will still be here. Some of us will be here as long as it takes to make sure that you guys get your questions answered and understand. So all these folks have business cards. We have a brochure out there with numbers on it. Like if something happens, you need a number to call. There's some small brochures out there.
My name is on the brochure. My phone number's on the brochure. If you have any questions about contacting anybody on our team, just call or email Laureen Sendell-Grant, and I'll make sure you get their information. Okay?
Yeah. So that's on that brochure. I see some of you guys have it. Hold that up for me real quick. Hold up that brochure. Yep. So grab one of those. That's where the contact info is. But if you want someone in particular, it's not on there, just ask them. We're here to serve you guys, all right? So like I said, at your convenience, get up, interact with these guys, ask them questions. That's what we're here for tonight. We're happy to work with you guys, all right? So whenever you want, and we'll make sure we keep chairs out as well for those who want to take a break.
One thing, before we break up and create a lot of pandemonium and background noise.
Sure.
You have a lot of bullets under stage 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you just quickly go through at the top level and address those bullets? For example, say, like, fully reconstruct Church Road, just address it. Is the road going to be closed, and if so, what's the detour going to be?
Sure. So I'll just give a quick overview. So what we're doing out there is essentially we're going to rebuild Ridge Pike from the ground up. That means underneath that asphalt, you'll find a couple of different layers of stuff: concrete, other things of asphalt, prehistoric remains, who knows, right? But we're going to take all of that out there. We're going to totally demolish it. Some of that stuff dates back to the 20s or the 30s when they first started paving these roads. So we're going to get rid of everything, and we're going to build it brand new the way you would if you were building a new road from scratch. I don't want to get into a whole lot of the detour stuff because it's hard to read on that brochure. It's easier to read up on this huge, 7-foot tall, 6-foot tall thing. We do have some detour issues. We do have some staging, and that's what we want to share with you guys and talk through in groups and one-on-one. But generally, that's what we mean when we say reconstruct. We're going to build the whole thing brand new. There's a couple of areas we're going to widen, get an extra lane in there so that the pinch points that we all know and hate, they disappear. And so that's what those bullet points refer to in some ways, is where we're going to be and what we're going to be doing in those areas, all right? Feel free to get up. We're here. Like I said, we'll be here for another couple hours, all right? Thanks, guys. We began design in late 2015, and we had a public meeting early in design where we laid out what the problems were. And at that point, we didn't really have much of a design. We kind of had an idea of what we wanted to do, but we also wanted to hear from the residents about what their concerns were, what the problems were out there, and in particular, if there were any real hot spots or problem areas. And so we had that public meeting in 2016, and after going through preliminary engineering, we had another public meeting where we unveiled to them what the designs were with the feedback that we had incorporated. Not everyone on any corridor like this completely agrees with every decision, and sometimes we aren't able to meet people's concerns fully as much as they would like. But we have largely had the support of the township supervisors, of the residents here in the corridor. They've appreciated the fact that we've gone out and held more than one public meeting, that we have a website that people can go to, we have brochures, we have an email list in which we promote and what's going on and give updates. And so we're proud that we've largely had community support here. And the residents realize that it's really important to improve this road and fix it. And so they've really been grateful in a lot of ways that the county has been investing in remaking and in rebuilding Ridge Pike. The construction will start off by working on some stormwater basins and other stormwater management facilities at various locations throughout the corridor. And that will take place for the spring and most of the summer. And then starting in the fall, our construction crews will be working in the middle of the roadway. And first they'll be working in the westbound lanes to rebuild that. And then they'll be working in the eastbound lanes for maybe 8-9 months after that's done. And then when we're all done, we'll have a brand new Ridge Pike. It will have sidewalks on the south side, 4 to 5 lanes total, some new signals at Barron Hill Road. And we're very, very fortunate that we've been able to do this with the support of the county commissioners. We decided a number of years ago, with the support of the Montgomery County Commissioners, that we would fund this 100% with county money. So we wouldn't use federal or state money, which requires a much longer design time. There are more environmental things you need to document and more permits that you need to get. And so by doing it this way, we were able to get through design in a little over 6 years. So we're excited that we have a good construction team. They're very experienced. They've worked on other projects in and around the Norristown and Plymouth and Whitemarsh areas. They know what they're doing, and we know that at the end of the day we're going to get a project that's done, that is going to make it easier for people to walk and use SEPTA. That's going to make it easier for drivers to get through, especially during rush hour. And the road is going to be great. The road is not going to be full of potholes and pock marks. It's going to be new and smooth, and is going to be a much more pleasurable driving experience.
Thank you.